In the fading light of dusk, a hunter's dog, loyal yet curious, strayed from its master during a quiet evening hunt. The forest stretched endlessly, bathed in hues of amber and blue. Standing atop a rocky outcrop, the dog paused, its brown fur glowing softly under the retreating sunlight. Below, in a shallow stream, lay a deer, helpless and frightened, its leg trapped in a tangle of roots. The dog's instincts flared at first, its posture tense, eyes locked onto the vulnerable creature. But something shifted. Pity replaced predatory instinct. The dog tilted its head, a spark of understanding in its gaze. It turned and bounded back into the forest, determined to fetch its owner. Not far away, the hunter stood amidst the trees, his bow in hand, scanning the darkening forest for movement. He was a rugged man, experienced and focused. Suddenly, the dog appeared, barking urgently. Confused but intrigued, the hunter lowered his bow. He followed as the dog darted ahead, its tail wagging furiously, guiding him back to the rocky outcrop. There, in the stream below, the hunter saw it, the trapped deer, vulnerable and motionless. Slowly, he raised his bow, the string pulled taut, his aim steady. But just as he prepared to release, the dog leapt in front of him, barking furiously. Its brown eyes locked onto his, pleading, shielding the deer with its body. The hunter hesitated, the bowstring slackening as he studied his loyal companion. A moment passed, and he sighed deeply, lowering the bow. "You don't want me to, do you?" he murmured. The dog wagged its tail, its stance softening, its message clear. The hunter understood. It was time to help, not harm. Reaching into his WAEC team bag, he pulled out a small vial of medicine and a roll of bandages. Cutting away the roots that held the deer captive. The animal flinched but remained still. He cleaned the wound and applied the medicine. The dog nearby, happily, watching the scene unfold. The once tense forest seemed to breathe again, fireflies dotting the air as peace settled over the clearing. The deer, though cautious, seemed to understand this was no longer a threat, but an act of kindness. With the treatment complete, the hunter and his dog stepped back, watching as the deer tested its bandaged leg, taking a few shaky steps before pausing. The dog barked softly, its tail wagging as if to encourage the deer. The hunter smiled, his rugged face softened by the moment. Together, they watched as the deer disappeared into the shadows of the forest, safe once more. As the hunter slung his WAEC team bag over his shoulder and prepared to leave, he looked down at his dog with a grateful smile. "Good boy," he said softly, patting its head. The dog barked in response, its eyes shining with pride. And so, under the light of the full moon, the hunter and his dog walked back into the woods, not as hunters, but as heroes. Sometimes, the greatest acts of compassion come not from humans, but from the loyal hearts that walk beside them.